Alright, welcome to another edition of What the Fuck Happens YouTube Atheist Community and chat conversation such. Yeah, it's not still I ain't doing it right. Still working on stuff and such. Have to do better. Working on it. Really nice day, but it'll be the last until the rains come and the cold comes back. But whatever, spring, that's the way it works. So last night was adequate, pretty much 6 hours. The conversation moved along, but there is a redundancy to it all that I have to do something about. The arguments have been there, done that, and there's got to be some sort of way to avoid being there and doing that. I really don't want to be in the business of individually, doing it the hard way, finding a disagreement and going back to the beginning and how there's no God and there's no this and there's that, and that's why this all makes sense and blah 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 blah. There's got to be some sort of rule, that to be a part of the conversation, you have to have knowledge of all the previous conversation, the arguments that have already been made, some kind of thing like that, and then let people participate from a position of knowledge rather than ignorance and all that crap. To get out of the redundancy, I suppose. Again, I probably should do subjects exclusively and then have people ready to discuss those subjects, blah blah blah, something like that. But I haven't done any of that, and I just haven't. It doesn't look like it's going to happen tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. I'm still working on the idea of, the performance art of all of this, coming up with some more brilliant performance instead of doing this kind of chaotic play, do the organized from beginning to end story and something like that. And so I'm doing the vlogger-dome thing again. Trying to segment the conversations and do them properly and decisively and all that crap and such. So anyway, what else? Usual characters in Tiny Chat. The Twain Clue guy was at the end there. It was pretty good. We just had a nice conversation back and forth. It was quite adequate, and it was a chick of some kind. I don't know what she was, a little girl, or I don't know. Who knows? Doesn't matter. She had interesting eyes, and she spoke rather intelligently. So it was okay. It went all right. It was a good enough evening for its purposes. Old fan was missing, so hopefully she's not too distressed, but probably some sort of problem. She's been blighted lately. Life. This camera angle just doesn't suit me. Yeah. I'm going to point it that way. That's probably better. Probably camera on a stick kind of idea. Trying to get better focal length. But I don't know if that's even possible. So it doesn't really matter. It does matter in terms of this performance fit. But obviously I'm not making it a priority. Obviously. A little bit of wind, I didn't account for that. Took the wrong camera, it's not the wind camera. So we'll have to compensate appropriately. I'll have to decide here whether I'm going to work or going to play. Yeah, I really have, it's a discretionary choice kind of day. Do I do the work I have to do tomorrow today, or do I do the work I have to do tomorrow some other day? It might rain tomorrow. So it's probably a good plan to go today. Come back later for this. I hide things. Yeah, rock. Stuff hidden by rock. I'll remember that. Alright, so it'll be a working day. And if I'm not too tired on the way home, need some golf balls. Anyway, so what else is news? Yeah, the Magic Sandwich Show last week wasn't too bad in terms of the conversation about what accounts for truth. And I'm still thinking about those kind of ideas. And that's with all this conversation is just trying to get to some sort of put the ideas in order, and create these logical proofs. And whether we're talking about physics or ethics, the economy, no matter what it is, you're just after some sort of theme, that cuts through all the bullshit and gets to, some sort of ordered conversation. And, I'm still looking for that in terms of trying to force that issue, force the conversation to be more piece of asphalt. Might be good for throwing. The throwing of the asphalt. Yeah. Really is just a summer day kind of thing. Yeah, it feels good. Mostly, except they'll probably give me an allergy attack and such. So I am of feeble character lately, but I think better than I have been anyway. So it's a hopeful sign of, maybe I'll be able to get a little more out of myself and get this project done and such. I just don't like that you have to do this art thing. You have to do this, conform it to the sensibilities and comforts of the audience. It's just sad that the audience requires that. I can just lament the fact that I always wanted the substance over the show personally. Wasn't too interested in the fancy show bits as I was the information bits. I'm not so interested in the personalities. If the substance, whoa, a tree limb almost deflected it. I probably should take videos more seriously than throwing rocks during the video, right? Yep. That's sort of the place I am in, is, I'm just searching for some other solution still. Something that clicks and you say, yep, that's the way to go. So I'm still kind of searching for the best direction. And we'll see what happens. I mean, there's no point in making promises because, I haven't kept too many of those. I might switch for a better rock. This one is bigger. Sorry, no offense. This one's not quite what I'm looking for either, though. A little more weight, a little more roundness. Anyway, and now for something completely unlike the previous portion. Those kind of tricks. Yes, expect those kind of tricks. Just to keep brains occupied, keep them engaged. You got to keep pulling pigeons and rabbits out of the hat, to keep people interested. And I hate that, but got to play the game on their field because they have all the the power is in their hands, not mine. And my only power is in affecting their power, kind of thing. So I have to do it by the game rules, per se, and such. All right, what else? This, hopefully they made a sort of physics video, and I do want to respond to it, but I just don't know how distracted I want to get, doing the physics stuff. So it does take a lot of mental energy, when you start contemplating physics. You really have to get into it kind of completely, to start to, conceptually making it intuitive, to your sensibilities, and being able to model it and control the model. This gets very complex because of the mass of the substance and the size, the imperceptibility, the incomprehensibility of the world's, the smallness of the small you're trying to imagine, and the volume of it is so daunting to gain mental appreciation for what's going on. It's like the speed of light is so fast, compared to throwing rock in air and catching it. And so, the brain works kind of on this level in terms of our consciousness. It's on this, rock goes up, rock comes down, kind of blah blah, and the universe is at this, 257,000 miles a second kind of frame rate. Frame rate so high, that so much is happening, in each, this is an eternity almost of time from the photon's point of view. It's a very long time, just this going up and coming back down. So much happened on a subatomic level. So anyway, I don't want to get on the subject. I guess I'm sort of just talking about the subject, how the subject is difficult for reasons. I'm explaining those reasons. Horse coming. Horses get nervous when you're holding rocks. I have to hold the rock so we can't see it. A nice day anyway.
You're beautiful, huh?
Kind of a retarded chick. He's one of those people who talks to everybody and knows everybody, and just too caught up in it, human. Oh, way too caught up in it. Anyway, now where was I? Yeah, so I don't want to get in that conversation. But yeah, I do hopefully make a response video. But Outlook Day doesn't give me any details to feed on. What I really need is, like in the argument about acceleration and the speed of sound, I need people to make the counter argument so I can defeat it, as I did in that case, pointing out that wave functions have variability in acceleration in their creation. To make a wave, you have to accelerate quickly, and then you have to decelerate at the peak and change direction. And those changes, the math is always dealing with averages of that speed throughout the creation of the entire wave, where in truth the actual speed is variable. And that's when the sound barrier is broken, blah blah blah. So anyway, but yeah, I need those kind of more specific objections to deal with and to challenge. And yes, I have the responsibility of doing the minutia math, and you know, that is a little daunting. But anyway, I'll do my best, you know, with the time I have available, under the circumstances and such. I really am, you know, doing the best I can. I'll save rock for later. Alright. So anything else? Yeah, there really isn't much. Nobody's making any videos. Fred the cunt made some kind of video saying snarky shit. Yeah, whatever. You know, like I care if Fred watches my videos or not. I, being a curious-minded person, do watch people's videos that I find capable of producing videos of interest, and certainly wouldn't worry about whether the person's, you know, ugly in personality. That would be incredibly irrelevant. So in a way, Fred's just a bigot. But whatever. That's what I'll call him in exchange and such. So anyway, I am here and I shall do my duty and such. So I'll talk to you later.